Listen, as long as you are playing the nice guy, nice gal act throughout your business, you are always going to struggle to hit that 10K per month. It doesn't matter how many times you create content. It doesn't matter how much content you put out. It doesn't matter how many DMs you're sending every single day. And it certainly doesn't matter how complicated your funnel is. As long as you're playing that nice guy, nice gal act, you will always fall short of the success that you desire. And I'm speaking from experience here because I was that person that was playing the nice guy act in my business. Is that for over 10, 15 years, I was the nice guy. And I always struggled to hit the next level. Always struggled to hit the next level until I realized this one thing. That I was playing the nice guy. Yeah. Because in my content, it was all educational content. I was too scared to sell in case I upset my audience. I was telling my audience what they wanted to hear rather than what they needed to hear. And these two things especially were I would say that these were the things that were really, really holding me back. The telling them what they wanted to hear and playing it safe. Because that just made me blend in. That just made me sound like every other coach that teaches business out there. It wasn't like me tell you my story and show you how I actually changed things and how I actually fixed things because I was too scared. Not only was I thinking that, oh, I have to be nice, I have to be liked, I have to do all the things, I have to give all the value. I didn't want to offend anybody either. I didn't want to hurt people, even if it was for their own good. And the thing is, some of the things that if people can't see a blind spot or they can't see things, they need to hear it for you to get the transformation that you offer. Which means that if you're not going to say that stuff, you're not talking about your transformation and your content. The next thing where I was people pleasing was with clients. Yeah, playing the nice guy. Give them whatever they want. Sitting on DMs for hours talking for free. Just to make sure that they were all happy and to make sure that they thought I was worth spending money on. By which time I just trained them not to respect me. To not to see me as the authority, to not to see me as the expert. And it really hit home for me when I had my last done for you client. Because it got to a stage where they were telling me the marketing strategy that they wanted to employ in their business. Not the other way around. When I'm coming here with the marketing expertise and they're dictating to me what that plan should look like. And I ran with it because I was playing the nice guy. So can you see a pattern here? Because it wasn't really that I was trying to be liked or that. I was trying to prove my worth by being the nice guy. Because when I was the nice guy, I was getting the validation and I was getting everything that I needed to be able to feel worthy within myself. And the thing is, your business is not medicine. Your business is not here to make you feel worthy. Because that means with anything that goes wrong in that business, you're then going to take it as a personal attack. And I know that. I know that because when I did get hate comments or I did get comments that were like a little bit more criticizing, it wasn't attack at my business. It hit me in the heart because I'd attached my weight or my worth to my business because I didn't feel worthy within myself. You see, the thing is, as long as you keep on doing this in your business, you are always falling short because it's going to drain your energy. It's going to drain your time. You're going to be in that overthinking, overanalyzing state. You're going to be overgiving. And it's just no way to run a business. The first thing that you need to do is you need to set clear boundaries. You need to learn to say no and learn that no is a complete sentence. Yeah? You don't need to justify yourself. You are the expert here. If you say no, it means no. Yeah? And it's not about being mean and just saying no for the hell of it. It's saying no for the things that don't need you to be doing. Saying no to lowering your price. Saying no to being that McDonald's coach. You need to learn to say no. And again, I am speaking from experience because I would sit in the DMs with clients, being that free emotional support human, trying to get them to understand like where they're going wrong, but always making it sound nice because I didn't want to hurt them. Because if I hurt them here, they're not going to want to work with me. They're not going to want to work and take it to the next level where they're now a client or whatever. So if I just spoke nice to them, then they would see that I'm the person for them and we would move forward. But the thing is, it never worked out like that. It never worked out like that because they were like, oh, well, he's just telling me what I already know. Oh, well, I've heard that from somebody else. Because you're so generic at this point, it doesn't make you look unique. They can't see your value at this point because you're blending in. And that was me, the emotional support human for free on DMs, trying to prove my worth to everybody so that they would spend money. And that is not the way to do this. You need to set boundaries. Like if people are in your DMs wanting you to answer and wanting you to give them all this free advice, or can I pick your brain for a little while? No, you can book an intensive and then you can pick my brain as much as you want. But for now, tell me what you're struggling with. I'll tell you if I can help you. And I'll give you some quick advice, but anything longer than 5 minutes, I've not got time just now. I need to be on my other stuff. I need to be doing the stuff that makes me the best coach to be in this relationship. Because if you're just sitting in the DMs, you're not learning anything new. You're not creating content. You're not working on your funnels. You're not working on sending emails. All these things that you could be doing, that could be bringing the right people to you instead of spending time in the DMs with people that are just picking your brain or people that you're just helping along the way. That is slowing you down with other parts that could bring people in that are just wanting to pay you the money to get the help that you can give. But because you're always being the nice guy or the nice gal, you're like, I have to help these people. I have to help these people. But these people are not your clients yet. These people are not paying you. These people are not at that level. Now, I don't want to contradict myself because I know in a video recently, I said, let people feel your energy. And that is exactly what you want to do here. Not be the free emotional support human, but let people feel your zone of genius. Yeah? It's where you give them that little bit of advice and you leave it over with them. Saying, there's that little bit of advice. We can go deeper here. Yeah? Doesn't matter how much advice they want. That's how much you're giving them to get that little taster of your energy. But if they want the full thing, they either come into your programs or one of your workshops or whatever you do. At this stage, you've given them that little taster. The ball is now in their court. Because the thing is, if you keep on playing the nice guy, you'll just get friend zoned. The next thing, when it comes to self-worth, the story that you're telling yourself is going to show up in a few ways throughout your business. But one of the key ways that I see is people undercharge themselves because they don't see their own worth. So they don't feel worthy of charging a higher ticket price. Now, I think that's as you go through life, you sit and you get told that you're worth £20 an hour or £10 an hour for doing these other jobs. But then when you're a coach, you've got a business, you've got overheads, and you've got other things that you need to pay for. These things need to come into consideration as well. You've also got to think of the value of your transformation that you provide. Yeah? If you're taking somebody who has been unable to get to this place that you're able to get them to, and you're going to save them so much time that they can then get back to spend with their family, if it's something that makes them feel better in their health so that they can have longevity, that is worth a high value. That is worth a high value price. Yeah? You've got to charge the worth of you. And if you're there saying, oh, well, I'm £100 an hour or £200 an hour, does that reflect the value of your current self-worth story? And if you're seeking validation, then that says to me that your price can go higher. And the thing is, when you're working with your price, when you're working with your boundaries, you are limiting supply. When you limit supply, you increase demand. Let that sink in, yeah? Because you don't want to be for everybody. You need to be the Marmite of coaches. Either love them or hate them. But as long as you're trying to be everybody, there's too much supply. And what happens when supply goes up? The demand goes down. Yeah? So with your pricing, with your pricing and with your boundaries, this is how you fix this equation. Yeah? You limit the supply so that the demand goes up. Yeah, it sounds counterintuitive, but it does correlate. Yeah. If you are not always freely available and people want your energy, they want that. There's that demand there for you. So you need to get comfortable with where you are. So you're not looking outside for validation and you're actually seeing that validation inside. Because once you get to there and you're able to charge the higher prices for your time, then you're able to set that demand, or you're able to set the supply or reduce the supply so that the demand can go up. The next thing is content. Like I said, when it was me, I was just giving out educational content. I was playing it safe. I was trying to be the nice guy. I wasn't telling people what they needed to hear. I was telling them what they wanted to hear. It's like this video I probably wouldn't have done because one, I have to be vulnerable in it and tell you that actually this is what I was doing. Yeah. But then the next reason is because I'm like, well, people don't want to know that they're playing the nice guy. So I'm going to get low views on this video. But the thing is, these views, these don't matter. The things that matter are the people that you're serving, the people that you're helping. And I made this clear when I came back to YouTube this time round. I said, I do not care about views. I care about helping one person with every piece of content. Now, that doesn't mean coming on and giving you 7 tips to get to 10K. That doesn't mean, it means coming on here and telling you what you need to hear. Like today, the no more playing Mr. Nice Guy, Mrs. Nice Gal. If you want to get to 10K, you need to put boundaries in place. You need to charge your worth. Whereas people, mostly, when it's looking for ways to make 10K, they want the strategy. Yeah? If you go and speak to a beginner who's not made 10K yet, chances are they will want strategy. And that's why I don't advise targeting beginners. Yeah? You want to target the people that they know the value. They can see the value. They don't need you to prove your value. The next thing is watering you down. Yeah? Because you don't want to offend people. My friend, you need to be like Marmite. Yeah? You need to say what needs to be said. You need to show up in your true power. Now, I know I used to do this. I was very guilty of this. I would come on and I'd be like this. This is how you do X, Y, Z. And the hands would be moving and this would be doing this and all this stuff to create high energy. Yeah? But it made me look like an idiot. It made me look stupid. Did I get more views? Yes. Did I get more sales? No. So that didn't matter. What matters and what brings you clients from content is speaking your truth, being the main character. Not like every other content creator out there. Be the main character, because then people can see your value. They can see why they need you over other people. When it comes to content, messaging, all that stuff, you start by not just always educational content. Yeah, you need to talk about the transformation. You need to show how that transformation is played out in your life and how you solved it. You need to talk about that. You then need to speak to your clients' limiting beliefs. Like today, yeah, a limiting belief that you might have had before you came on this video is that you needed a strategy to get to 10K because this current strategy you have isn't currently getting you there. Whereas now you can be like, you might identify with seeing, well, actually, it's me being the nice guy that is not getting me there because I'm watering everything down. I'm playing it safe. I'm not speaking my truth. And then you can show up and you can be more direct in your messaging. You can tweak your messaging to be the authority. Yeah? There's not just try to catch the tidbits from everybody above you. Because when somebody's going to pay a high ticket price for coaching, they want to work with a leader. And that's how you need to show up. Because you are capable. You are here. You're here at this part in this video as well, where he says to me that you deserve to be that leader. You're capable of being that leader. But as long as you're chasing strategy outside of yourself and not building yourself into the leader you can be, and the coach and the guide, as long as you're doing that, the 10K months are getting further away. What is the self-worth story you're telling yourself? When there's nobody else around and it's quiet, what is that story you're telling yourself in your head? Because if it's that you're not enough, that's nonsense. You are more than enough. So what is that story that you're telling yourself? Because, my friend, you are more than enough. You are so worthy. If I can see that, the world will see that, but you need to start claiming that space. You need to start taking up that space. It is safe for you to do that. Push out the people that don't deserve your time and welcome in the people that do.